Part 1. A World After the Cleansing. Rand and the Fracturing Nations. The events of Knife of Dreams unfold in the immediate wake of the cleansing of Saidin, an event so monumental that it alters not only the mechanics of channeling, but the psychological and political balance of the world. For 3,000 years, men who could channel were doomed to madness and destruction. Now that doom has been lifted by Rand al'Thor, the dragon reborn, and yet the world does not rejoice in unity. Instead, it trembles in uncertainty. The removal of the taint is not universally understood, and even among those who accept it, fear lingers. The pattern has shifted, but human hearts take longer to follow. Rand himself does not linger on celebration. The cleansing was a victory, but it was not an ending. If anything, it was a prelude. In Arad Doman, political and economic collapse threatens to tear the nation apart. Merchants manipulate grain supplies, famine looms, and the Seanchan cast a long shadow from their coastal conquests. Rand moves into this unstable environment with the force of inevitability. He knows that fractured kingdoms will fall quickly when the last battle comes. His aim is not conquest for glory, but consolidation for survival. Yet Rand's methods reveal the toll his burden has taken. He acts decisively, sometimes harshly, compelling obedience and brooking little dissent. The boy who once hesitated to command is gone. In his place stands a figure shaped by prophecy, hardened by betrayal, and increasingly isolated. The voice of Luz Theron Telamon remains in his mind, quieter since the cleansing, more coherent, but still present. Rather than madness, it now feels like a merging memory, a second perspective that reinforces the weight of ancient responsibility. Rand's interactions with his allies demonstrate this shift. He trusts fewer people. He calculates more ruthlessly. The Ashaman, once a desperate gamble, now represent both hope and potential threat. The Aes Sedai, divided between factions, hover at the edge of usefulness and obstruction. Even his personal relationships strain under the gravity of his purpose. Love remains, but it is overshadowed by inevitability. Across the world, reactions to the cleansing ripple outward. Some male channelers tentatively test the source without fear. The Xianshan, whose empire is built upon the enslavement of channelers, confront the unsettling implication that their foundational assumption, that men who channel must inevitably go mad, may no longer hold. Within the White Tower, divisions deepen rather than heal. The first part of the novel therefore establishes a paradox. The greatest metaphysical victory since the breaking has occurred, yet it accelerates tension rather than resolving it. Rand understands that the shadow will not remain passive. The Forsaken are still active. The Dark One's influence seeps into reality itself. Food spoils, tempers flare, and unnatural phenomena multiply. The cleansing has bought hope, but it has not bought time. The Knife of Dreams, hope sharpened by necessity, hangs over every decision Rand makes. Part 2. The Lion Throne Secured. Elaine's Trial of Rule. In Andor, Elaine Trakand wages a quieter but no less significant battle, the struggle to secure the Lion Throne. Her claim as Morghos's daughter is unquestionable by blood, yet Andoran tradition demands that the great houses acknowledge her rule. Several powerful nobles calculate that a contested succession offers them leverage, influence, or even a chance at placing a rival upon the throne. Elaine approaches this crisis not as a romantic claimant, but as a strategist. She recognizes that Andor cannot afford open civil war. The last battle looms, and every soldier wasted in internal conflict weakens humanity's defense. At the same time, she cannot appear weak. A queen who hesitates invites rebellion. Her pregnancy adds both vulnerability and symbolic strength. She carries Rand's children, future heirs tied to the dragon reborn himself. This connection could destabilize her claim if framed as foreign influence, yet it also positions Andor at the heart of the coming struggle. Elaine must walk a narrow line between independence and alliance. The political maneuvering is intricate. She negotiates with wavering houses, offers carefully measured concessions, and isolates her most implacable opponents. Assassination attempts underscore the stakes. Rather than retreat into guarded seclusion, Elaine deliberately presents herself publicly, projecting confidence and inevitability. She understands that perception shapes loyalty. Gradually, momentum turns. Several key houses declare for her, recognizing both her legitimacy and her resolve. Opposition weakens as unity appears increasingly advantageous. Through persistence rather than overwhelming force, Elaine secures the throne. The moment of recognition is less triumphant spectacle than solemn transition. She has not conquered Andor, she has earned it. Yet ascension marks the beginning of greater burdens. The realm she inherits is strained by famine, unrest, and uncertainty about Rand's future actions. Elaine must transform from claimant into stabilizing monarch immediately. Her success ensures that Andor will stand intact when the last battle arrives. In doing so, she proves that political resilience is as vital to survival as martial strength. Part 3. The Prince of the Ravens, Mat and Tuon. Mat Cawthon's thread in Knife of Dreams blends humor, danger, and geopolitical consequence. Bound by prophecy to marry Tuon, daughter of the Nine Moons, Mat finds himself entangled in the internal politics of the Seanchan Empire. What began as a forced proximity evolves into something layered with mutual assessment and reluctant respect. Tuon is a study in imperial discipline. Raised to rule an empire built on conquest and rigid hierarchy, she evaluates Mat through a lens of calculation. At first, she sees him as an anomaly, a foreigner of unpredictable behavior who nonetheless fits the pattern of prophecy. Mat, for his part, resents destiny's intrusion into his freedom. He prefers gambling tables and taverns to thrones and politics, yet their interactions reveal depth on both sides. Mat's battlefield instincts, inherited memories of long-dead generals, and capacity for decisive action earn Tuon's attention. He does not grovel or posture. He challenges her assumptions, sometimes inadvertently, sometimes deliberately. In turn, Tuon's intelligence and composure force Mat to confront the seriousness of her position. When internal Seanchan maneuvering threatens Tuon's safety, Mat acts without hesitation. He asserts his claim through Seanchan custom, invoking the marriage foretold by prophecy and placing himself in the political crossfire. The move is audacious, even reckless, but it succeeds. Tuon formally acknowledges him as her husband, granting him the title Prince of the Ravens. This union reshapes the political landscape. Through Mat, the Dragon Reborn's cause becomes entwined with the Seanchan imperial line. Yet Tuon does not abandon her culture's convictions, particularly regarding domain. The ideological gulf remains vast. Their marriage is not a fairy tale reconciliation, but a complex alliance fraught with future conflict. Mat emerges from this arc transformed. He is still irreverent, still fond of dice and banter, but he stands now at the nexus of empires. The gambler has placed his greatest wager yet, not on coin, but on the fragile possibility that love and pragmatism can bridge conquest and prophecy. Part 4. Malden and the cost of compromise. Perrin's reckoning, Perrin Ibarra's storyline reaches its long-awaited climax in the city of Malden, where the Shaido Ayel hold Fail Bashir captive. What began as a rescue mission has grown into a grinding campaign marked by moral compromise and internal struggle. Perrin, once reluctant to lead, now commands a coalition of Two Rivers men, Gyaldanan soldiers, miners, and even Seanchan forces. Fail's captivity has hardened her without breaking her. Inside Malden, she builds alliances among fellow prisoners, including Morgus, living in disguise, and other noblewomen reduced to servitude. Fail refuses to succumb to despair. She studies the Shaido's weaknesses, waits for opportunity, and preserves her dignity through resistance. Outside, Perrin confronts choices that erode his innocence. To defeat the Shaido, he allies with the Seanchan, whose use of Damania disgusts him. The alliance is pragmatic, not ideological. Perrin accepts it because it increases the likelihood of rescuing Fail swiftly and decisively. Yet he understands that such bargains carry consequences. The assault on Malden is swift and devastating. Coordinated strikes from archers, cavalry, and Seanchan channelers overwhelm the Shaido. Savannah's authority collapses under pressure. The once proud Splinter clan disintegrates into chaos. Fail seizes her moment during the attack, contributing actively to the unraveling of Shaido control. When Perrin and Fail reunite, their embrace is powerful precisely because it is understated. Both have changed. Perrin has crossed lines he once swore he would not approach. Fael has endured humiliation and danger with fierce resilience. The victory ends the Shaido threat, but deepens Perrin's entanglement with the Seanchan. He must now navigate the aftermath of compromise. His arc underscores a central theme of the novel. Survival in a broken world often demands choices that scar the soul. Part 5. Threads drawn tight. Toward the last battle. As Knife of Dreams closes, its disparate storylines begin to align with unmistakable momentum. Rand consolidates Ara Doman through force of will, attempting to impose order upon chaos before the Shadow can exploit it. His emotional isolation grows, yet so does his clarity of purpose. He believes that only unyielding resolve will carry humanity through Tarman Gaidon. Egwene's quiet resistance within the White Tower continues to erode Elida's authority. Through discipline and moral steadiness, she reminds the sisters of what the Amirlan seat should represent. The tower edges toward internal reckoning. Elaine holds Andor securely. Perrin has shattered the Shaido. Mat stands beside Tuon as Prince of the Ravens. Across the continent, leadership has crystallized. Old distractions and unresolved conflicts are stripped away. What remains are defined powers preparing for inevitable collision. The Forsaken remain active in shadow, and the Dark One's influence presses against reality itself. Food spoils, tempers fray, and strange phenomena increase. The cleansing of Saidin was a beacon of hope, but it has also signaled to the Shadow that the hour of confrontation approaches. The novel does not end with cataclysm, but with convergence. Every major player stands positioned for the next movement of the pattern. Alliances, some fragile, some firm, are in place. The Knife of Dreams hovers still, a symbol of hope sharpened by sacrifice. The last battle has not yet begun, but by the final pages, it feels no longer distant. It is coming, and the world, scarred yet steadied, prepares to meet it.
Please like, comment, share, and subscribe for more videos.